Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Colonial Downs here on Monday. It is the 18th of July, 2022. Gonna look at the stakes races on the program from Colonial, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the stakes action. Races 6 and 8 from Colonial. The sixth race, it's the Clief Stakes. It's going for a purse of $150,000, race for 3-year-olds and upwards, with 8 horses stepping on the outer turf course, the distance of ground of 1,100 meters, or the distance of ground of 5.5 furlongs on the Colonial outer turf course. 1,100 meters, 5.5 furlongs. And I show the diagram. Just gives me a second to look down my notes. Just bear with me. My top selection here, we're going to go take the number 6 horse, the 6 horse Smokin' J. We'll go 6-3-5-8 in the superfecta. 6-3-5-8 super, top selection 6 horse Smokin' J. This 4-year-old colt by Cairo Prince. Kelsey Ganner trained this one. Adam Beschitza gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 11th of June at Belmont. 6 furlongs on the Widener turf course in the Grade 1 Jaipur. And the horse finished 8th by 5 3/4 lengths that day. Was drawn very wide, had a bumped out of the gate, and basically after that, had a trouble trip. Really could never recover after that. It just wasn't a day to win. Also facing Grade 1 quality horses, the horse just wasn't going to win. Stepping way down the class ladder, coming here to Colonial today. I think the horse is in a better spot to win. 2 back, the horse ran the Jim McKay turf sprint at Pimlico, 5 furlongs on the 21st of May. First off the refreshing, he finished second by 1.5 lengths. He really closed up well late. He was a little bit wide. Not a bad race after all said and done for him to come off the bench, earning a decent 94 buyer. And then the Giannis Stakes at Gulfstream, about 5 furlongs on the 31st of December. He finished third by 1 3/4 lengths. Again, he was a little bit wide, but he was closing up well late. I didn't think it was a half bad run. They took him to Woodbine before that in the Kennedy Road Stakes over the 6 on the Tapeta, where he just wasn't getting a good handle of it. He kind of hit the wall. He showed up very flat there, and then he had a decent place in the Carl Place over the 7 at Belmont, and then won the Allied Forces over the 6 furlongs in mid-September at Belmont, winning by a head from a mid-pack position. I thought he ran quite nicely. He'll see a good pace to close up from mid-pack. I think at 520 is loaded. I think you also have to use the 3 horse here, just might. If there's going to be a speed horse winning, it's going to be him. I like his victory in the Haas Stakes here last season. He came back to win a few weeks later in the Chesapeake on the dirt very, very nicely in 107-4. He was flying that day. Since then, he's been winning on every single surface. They haven't taken him to Tapeta yet, so maybe he'll go to the synthetic and win. Maybe taking the Gulfstream and Turfway in the winter, but he's been a very great horse, and his buyer's up to scratch. 8-5, definitely use him in a late pick 4 that begins with this race. But to recap my selection for the 6 from Colonial, it's the Clief Stakes. Let's take the 6 horse Smokin' J. Give kudos to the 3 horse Just Might. 6-3-5-8 Super. 6-3 in your multi race. The 8th race from Colonial, it's the Andy Guest Stakes. It's going for a purse of $150,000. Race for fillies, mares, 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 11 horses heading again to the outer turf course. The distance of ground of 1,100 meters, or the 5.5 furlong trip on the Colonial outer turf course. 1,100 meters, 5.5 furlongs. My top selection, I'm going to go take the number 2 horse here. The number 10 horse here. The number 10 that was. The number 10 Minwan. I'm going to go 10-4-8-7 in the superfecta. 10-4-8-7 super. Top selection 10 horse Minwan. 4-year-old filly by Zoffany. Brendan Walsh trains this one. Irad Tees Jr. gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 13th of May at Belmont. 6 furlongs inner turf course and off 6-2 claimer. And the horse finished third by 1.5 lengths that day. He basically just stalked all the way around the race course. A little bit of a turn of foot, but it just wasn't anything spectacular. Coming here, a little bit off the bench, getting Irad up, sees a good pace in front of him. I think he really got a better trip coming from mid-pack here today with the cutback. 2 back, he ran an Aqueduct, 6 furlongs out of turf course, 16th of April, and off 6-2 claimer, and he finished third by head that day. Again, he sat back early, he slowly moved his way up a little bit wide, but I didn't think it was a half bad race after all said and done. First off the bench with lesser quality horses, and then prior to that, they ran the horse in the Pebbles of Belmont, 1 mile on the 19th of September. He finished 8th by 9.25 lengths that day. He was very, very wide and just wasn't staying the mile. You could say the same for the race before, which was Lake George at at Saratoga, where he finished fifth by 3 1/4 lengths. He just wasn't staying the mile. He wants to go six. He's going to get it again today, and I think at 8:20 he's loaded. If Irad's going to go to Virginia on a Monday afternoon, he wants to win. I think this is his best chance. I think you also have to give a shot to the 4-horse Going Good. Hasn't been seen since the Unbridled Sydney at Churchill that came on the 5th of May, where he finished a decent third place finish. He just couldn't get there late, but not a world's worst race for him. Before the Giants Causeway, if he would have broke a little bit better and with a little better post draw, he probably would have won. But he finished third by 4 lengths. He had a very troubled trip. He was stupidly wide, but for him to get third behind Camzel, I thought he ran a terrific race there. And then the Mardi Gras at the fairgrounds, 5.5. He finished second by 1/4 lengths. He just stalked and could never get the good turn of foot. He definitely needed the race off the bench for it being his first race since Galway at Saratoga in 2021. He's trading well. 4-1 lets you use him out in the ticket also. But to recap my selection for the 8th from Colonial, it's Sandy Guest. Let's take the 10-horse Minwan. Give kudos to the 4-horse Going Good. 10-4-8-7 Super. 10-4 in your multi-race. So good luck to all, and please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.